Hello and welcome to Cooking with the Wooden Spoon. Today we are making a delicious sauce for chicken. It is on the easy scale, maybe a 6. Um, there are a lot of different components that go into this sauce and 2 different steps. So I don't give it a super easy rating, but I give it a super delicious rating. The first thing we did was we cooked our tomatoes in a confit. Basically, what confit means is basically just to cook something in fat. So all you have to do for this is take a casserole dish, put cherry tomatoes, 6 cloves of garlic, and about 1.5 cups of olive oil. We won't use all of the olive oil in our recipe. I'm using that for something else too. So don't get too alarmed that this is going to be a very unhealthy recipe because we're just taking parts. But the olive oil is now infused with the tomato and the garlic flavor that I have from these confit tomatoes. And I threw basil in here too because I had basil. So, first step we're going to do is we're going to put some of the tomatoes and the olive oil into a food processor. I'm going to say about a cup ish. So, maybe a little bit more of the oil. Again, I'm going to use this other stuff for another fabulous recipe. Honestly, if you do tomatoes this way, add a little bit of oregano. It is a fantastic dipping sauce. You could also mix feta and cream cheese and ricotta and put all of that on a plate and then take these amazing roasted tomatoes, put it on top of that and serve it with crostini. So there are so many things you can do with these tomatoes. What I typically do with these tomatoes is I usually use less oil, and I do them on a tray, and then I use them as a base for a soup. So we'll be making that actually later on as well. I'm going to put in, I guess I could measure this to see how much Parmesan cheese I use. You could use Parmesan or Asiago, whatever you have on hand. I'm going to use Parmesan and a little bit of cream cheese. So this is about 2 ounces. We're going to put all of these things in the blender so that they combine pretty well. And then we'll have an amazing sauce for chicken. I think chicken is probably my favorite of the meats, even though we buy a quarter cow every once in a while and we have lots of wonderful beef products. My go-to is chicken. The beef is awesome too. But I'm just going to take 2 tablespoons of this cream cheese and add them in here to add a little bit more deliciousness. Okay. Bo is very interested in what I am doing anytime it involves cheese, but especially Parmesan, because I'd say that's one of his favorites and maybe one of the ones that he gets the most. Bo, you're so cute. Okay, so I'm going to put some Italian herbs in here as well. I have harvested this earlier today, so I'm basically just throwing in some oregano and parsley. I really tend to gravitate towards the Italian family for cooking. So here's some delicious parsley and amazing oregano. So we already have a lot of garlic in here. So that is going to also add deliciousness. If you have an onion, I'd say throw it in there as well. Or a shallot, whatever you have is good. I love the taste of onions, so I add them into pretty much everything that I make. So we're going to throw this in. I'm going to do about half of an onion. And a little bit of vinegar for flavor. A few squirts. That was probably about 2 teaspoons. And I know that this sounds weird, but I'm going to drizzle a little bit of honey in there. I think that sweetness and tomatoes go very well together. I got this cool honey pot in Iowa City when I was visiting Walker's amazing mom. Okay, we are going to blend this and then we are going to cook it very slowly on the stovetop. So I'm going to blend it off camera to save you all from hearing it. We've blended this for quite a while. I regret not doing this in my Ninja. I think my Ninja would have been quicker, but I had the food processor out already, so I figured I would just use that. I know this doesn't look like super appetizing, but this is so, so, so good. So different things you could use this for. I have roasted kale, like sauteed kale, and then drizzled this over it. Great side dish. You can use this as a dipping sauce. So if you have a bunch of fancy breads and you have even a charcuterie board and you want to have crackers with it, you could put this in a little bowl beside the charcuterie board and it would be totally delicious. You could actually do this on pasta as well. This makes an amazing sauce for pasta. It's very versatile. Man, it is seriously so good. Wow. It is seriously so good. So basically, I'm just going to warm this up. If I had done this as soon as the tomatoes came out of the oven, I wouldn't have to warm it up as long, but I let it sit to cool and I was doing a lot of other things like laundry. So you have to do this a little bit longer. But basically, this is it. Stir it, warm it up, and then serve it. It is a fantastic, fantastic sauce and a good use for tomatoes from the garden. Update, I decided that I was going to roast asparagus at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. And then I'm going to make couscous and heat up some zucchini that I shredded earlier. And I'm going to serve this amazing sauce with couscous, asparagus, zucchini, and it's going to be amazing.